All right, now real quick, are you in a hurry right now and you can't watch this entire video? Well, no worries, my friend, because my quick pick recap is located in the description section below. All of today's picks for this video is located in that section. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, you may want to think about signing up for a membership on my website at brockpage.com. I have packages starting at just $1.99, and the link for today's $1.99 daily best play is also in the description section below. Now, we currently have over 850 paid members who are signed up and active on that website right now. And if you want to know what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my webpage, I'll explain a little bit more about it at the end of the video. But with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some playoff action here. We're going to start with the Hawks taking on the Heat, and that's going to be a 1 o'clock Eastern tip-off on Sunday, April 17th, 2022. Now, Miami's -6 with a total at 217. The Heat played some pretty good basketball in the FTX Arena this season. They actually went 29-12 straight up in front of their home fans, and they played some of the toughest defense in the Eastern Conference. Miami allowed only 105 points a game in their own building this year, and they led the entire NBA in home defensive boards. Now, Bam Adebayo, he's averaging double-digit rebounds a game. He's also averaging 19 points a night as well. Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler, he's the team's leading scorer, as he averaged over 21 points a game himself, along with 5 boards and 5.5 assists. And when it comes to shooting the basketball, really, nobody did it better from three land than Miami this season. They're currently leading the entire association in shooting from beyond the arc. Now, they're taking on an Atlanta team who played pretty bad on the road this season. The Hawks got the W in only 17 out of 42 road games. And that's good for a win percentage of just .404 during that stretch. And when it comes to covering the point spread, well, the Hawks covered in only 35% of those road contests I just mentioned as well. Now, the Hawks' biggest issue this season was their defensive play. They actually had a tough time guarding the three-pointer this year as well, and they allowed 113 points a game away from their home court. Now, injury-wise, Williams and Capella are questionable. John Collins is still out. When it comes to the total in this one, the Hawks allowed 112 points a game in their last 10 meetings with Miami. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Now, they also saw overs more recently with the likes of Houston, Cleveland, and Oklahoma City. Meanwhile, Miami, on the other side of things, they went 70% to the over in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward Miami, -6 in the over 217. Next ball game, it is going to be Nets taking on the Celtics, 3:30 Eastern start time. Boston's -4, totals 224. But despite being favored by a couple of buckets in this one, I think the Celtics made a poor choice in winning their final regular season game. They won that game against Memphis only to face Brooklyn in the first round. Now, if they would have lost that one, like they should have, they would have locked up that number 3 seed, and they would have ended up facing a Chicago team who plays little to no defense. But either way, they got the W, and they got rewarded by having to play Brooklyn. And either way, we're looking at a Boston team who struggled to cover the number in the Garden this year. These guys actually covered in only 10 out of 26 home games against Eastern Conference opponents. Now, the Celtics have also been very slow starters offensively in their own arena this year. They're currently in the bottom 10 in both first and second quarter scoring at home. They're taking on a Brooklyn team who plays their best basketball while traveling, and they actually posted a record of 19-7 against the spread against the East on the road, and that's good for over 73% in that particular category. And contrary to the Celtics, the Nets really like to start fast. as they're currently in the top 3 in the league in first quarter scoring. Now, Kevin Durant averages just about 30 points a game, along with 7 boards, 6 assists. Meanwhile, Kyrie Irving, he's drilling 42% of his three-pointers. He also averages 27 points a game as well. And when it comes to shooting the basketball, no one's done it better on the road this year than Brooklyn. They're currently leading the NBA in both offensive field goal percentage and three-point shooting away from home. And they've been first in both of those categories for the majority of the season. Now, injury-wise, Simmons is still out for Brooklyn. Williams is out for Boston. When it comes to the total in this one, Brooklyn's averaged 117 points a game in their last 10 meetings with Boston. Once again, that's 117 points a game in their last 10 meetings with the Celtics. 7-3 to the over in those contests. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Now, the Nets also went 23-18 to the over in their travels this year. Meanwhile, Brooklyn, on the other side of things, they went 80% to the over in their last 10 outings themselves. 4-1 to the over in their last 5 at the Garden. I'm going to lean toward Brooklyn +4 and the over 224. Next contest, Bulls, Bucks, 6:30 East. Milwaukee's -10 with the total at 229.5. And as good as Chicago is with the ball in their hands, they're going to have a tough time stopping this Milwaukee team. The Bucks are currently in the top 3 in the NBA in scoring, and they're also in the top 5 in shooting the 3-ball. Now, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he averages over 29.5 points a night, along with 11 boards, 5 assists. Meanwhile, Chris Middleton scoring over 20 points a game himself, along with 5 rebounds, 5 assists as well. And speaking of rebounds, the Bucks are currently in the top 3 in offensive boards. They're taking on a Chicago team who rebounds terribly themselves. As a matter of fact, these guys are dead last in the NBA in offensive boards per contest on the road. Meanwhile, defensively on the other end of the court, once again, Chicago's going to have a tough time slowing down Giannis. They're already in the bottom 5 in the entire league in defensive field goal percentage. And when they play away from home, the Bulls finished the year with a losing road record, and they covered in only 41% of those contests. Now, injury-wise, Caruso and Thomas are questionable for Chicago. When it comes to the total on this one, the Bulls went 5-1 to the over in their last 6 outings. 116 points a game they allowed in their last 10 meetings with Milwaukee as well. So once again, if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Meanwhile, the Bucks went 70% to the over in their last 10 ball games this season themselves. 3-1 to the over in their last 4 at the Fiserv. I'm going to lean toward Milwaukee -10 and the over 229.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Pelicans taking on the Suns. 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Phoenix is -11, totals 225.5. And even though the Suns are the clear-cut favorite to win this one, there are some concerns about this very large number. Now, for one, the Suns didn't cover the point spread well at home this year. They actually went just 10-16 against the spread against Western Conference opponents at home. And when it comes to head-to-head meetings between these two squads, Phoenix allowed 115 points a game in their last 10 contests against New Orleans. And speaking of the Pels on the other side of things, I get it. They're not all that great. I understand that. But they did do what they had to do to get into that play-in tournament. They won 10 of 15 down the home stretch to qualify, and they actually covered in nearly 70% of those contests. Now, CJ McCollum, he's been a valuable addition to this roster. 24 points a game in New Orleans for CJ. Now, McCollum's also been pretty good shooting from 3-land as well. He's making nearly 40% of his shots from beyond the arc with New Orleans. Meanwhile, teammate Brandon Ingram, he's scoring nearly 23 points a game himself, along with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. And speaking of rebounding the basketball, there's really not many in the West who do it better than the Pelicans. They're actually in the top 10 in offensive boards, top 3 in defensive rebounding as well. When it comes to the injury report, Zion's still out for New Orleans. Payne and Shamet are questionable for Phoenix. Now, total-wise, New Orleans went 7-3 to the under in their last 10 ball games. They also went 64% to the under in all of their road games this season. Meanwhile, the Suns went 70% to the under in their last 10 outings themselves, 3-0 to the under in their last 3 at home. I'm going to lean toward the New Orleans Pelicans plus 11, keeping this one close. And the under 225.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap, powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we currently have over 850 members who are signed up and active on that website right now. I like Miami -6 over 217. Give me Brooklyn +4 over 224. I like Milwaukee -10 over 229.5. And with my next and final free pick for the video, I'm going to lean toward New Orleans +11 and the under 225.5. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my website, just keep in mind, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on brockpage.com, you're actually going to get access to that content every single day all the way through the end of April. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And guys, if you want to get access to every single bet that I give out on that website, you're going to want to think about signing up for my board member tier package. The board member is an all-inclusive membership. But most importantly, actually, one more thing to add. Guys, if you're curious or if you're wondering about what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website, well, what I do here on YouTube is, guys, I handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side, and total. And what I do on brockpage.com is I actually share with you which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Saturday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.